This is a message from Anonymous to citizens of the world. Russia has escalated its war in Ukraine with a strike on a major military base in western Ukraine, reportedly killing 20 people, only hours after the Kremlin warned that Western supply lines into the embattled country were legitimate targets. Two large explosions were seen on Sunday at the base in Lvov, a garrison city 12 kilometers, 7.5 miles, from the Polish border. The rocket attack took place at 5:45 am. My windows shook. The whole house vibrated. It was dark. The sky lit up with two explosions, said Stepan Chuma, 27, an emergency worker, who hurried to the scene with his colleagues. He said 20 people were confirmed dead. 19 ambulances with sirens blaring were seen driving from the direction of the base, a witness said, according to Reuters. A further 7 ambulances were seen driving towards the facility. The sky is lit up by the missile attack in Lvov. The Lviv Regional Military Administration said airstrikes hit the International Center for Peacekeeping and Security in Lvov. The security center, which is about 50 kilometers, 30 miles, west of Lviv, is a large military base that includes a training center for soldiers, predominantly for peacekeeping missions. Lviv's mayor, Andrus Sadovai, said the facility was hit by 8 missiles. The Interfax Ukraine news agency cited Anton Mironovich, a spokesperson for the Academy of Land Forces of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, as saying, according to preliminary data there are no dead, but information about the injured and wounded is being clarified. Loud explosions and air raid sirens were heard in Lviv. Unconfirmed reports suggested Ukrainian anti-aircraft defenses may have intercepted a Russian missile. Russian forces may have also hit an air base in Ivano-Frankivsk early on Sunday morning, according to the city's mayor, Ruslan Martsinkiv. The attack comes less than 24 hours after Russia's deputy foreign minister, Sergei Ryabkov, warned that Western shipments to Ukraine were legitimate targets. Putin did not show willingness to end Ukraine war during call, French official says. Supporters of Ukraine, including the UK, Germany, and the US, have been shipping thousands of anti-tank and anti-aircraft missiles into Ukraine using the country's western corridor in the Lviv region. Ryabkov said that Russia had warned the US that pumping weapons from a number of countries it orchestrates isn't just a dangerous move, it's an action that makes those convoys legitimate targets. The attack is thought to be the westernmost carried out by Russia in 18 days of fighting. Air raid sirens had been heard on previous nights in Lviv, a UNESCO World Heritage Site 80 kilometers, 50 miles, from the border with Poland and a safe haven for hundreds of thousands of internally displaced Ukrainians. But although the city's 700,000 residents are among the strongest supporters of Ukrainian independence from Moscow, it has so far remained untouched by Russian bombing. The war continued to rage across the rest of Ukraine on Saturday. In the southeast, the town of Volnovakha has been totally destroyed by Russian bombardment, according to the regional governor, Pavlo Kyrylenko. A hospital was destroyed, forcing people to gather in the basement as pro-Russian separatists took over the town. Volnovakha with its infrastructure as such no longer exists, Kyrylenko told Ukrainian TV. The town is close to the besieged port city of Mariupol, where new satellite imagery has shown the widespread damage inflicted since Russian forces surrounded the city 12 days ago. More than 1,500 civilians have been killed, and humanitarian aid groups say those remaining have not had access to water or medications in days. Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, urged Russia to uphold an agreed ceasefire to allow evacuations to proceed out of the city, after blaming Moscow for the failure of previous attempts. Britain's defense ministry has said Russian ground forces were massed 25 kilometers, 15 miles, from the center of Kiev, Reuters reported. Its residents also woke to the sound of air raid sirens, and along with the rest of the nation, the words of Zelensky ringing in their ears, "We still need to hold on. We still have to fight." 7 civilians have died after coming under Russian fire while trying to flee fighting near Kiev. Ukraine initially accused Russia of firing at a convoy of civilian evacuees from the village of Peremogha while they were in a designated humanitarian corridor, but later said it was not such a route. In a video posted to social media late on Saturday night, Zelensky urged Ukrainians to keep fighting, and said Russia could not conquer Ukraine. They do not have such strength. They do not have such spirit. They are holding only on violence. Only on terror. Only on weapons, which they have a lot. But the invaders have no natural basis for normal life. So that people can feel happy and dream. They are organically incapable of making life normal. Wherever Russia come to a foreign land, dreams are impossible. Zelensky noted humanitarian corridors had been working, with 12,729 people evacuated on Saturday, and made another plea to the international community to keep doing more for Ukraine. Because it is not only for Ukraine, but it is for all of Europe. Russia was trying to create new pseudo-republics, he continued, adding that the city council members in Kherson, a southern city of 290,000, on Saturday rejected plans to set up such a system. Ukrainians protest against reported mayor kidnapping, video. The Russian military has reportedly installed a new mayor in the occupied southeastern Ukrainian city Melitopol, after the alleged abduction of the mayor, Ivan Fedorov, by Moscow's troops on Friday afternoon. Zelensky has demanded his immediate release. Russia may also be positioning itself to use chemical weapons, which would amount to a war crime, NATO has warned. Its Secretary General, Jens Stoltenberg, told the German newspaper Welt am Sonntag that the Kremlin was inventing false pretexts to justify the possible use of chemical weapons, Reuters reported. In recent days, we have heard absurd claims about chemical and biological weapons laboratories, he said. Now that these false claims have been made, we must remain vigilant because it is possible that Russia itself could plan chemical weapons operations under this fabrication of lies. That would be a war crime. Meanwhile, further appeals from global leaders urging Putin to order an immediate ceasefire have failed to yield results. France's President, Emmanuel Macron, and the German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, spoke to the Russian President, Vladimir Putin, by phone on Saturday, but a French official said, "We did not detect a willingness on Putin's part to end the war." The U.S. President, Joe Biden, has authorized $200 million in weapons and other assistance for Ukraine, paving the way for the immediate shipment of small arms, anti-tank and anti-aircraft weapons. The rate of refugees crossing the Ukrainian border has slowed, but Ukraine's neighboring countries are still struggling to provide shelter for the estimated 2.6 million who have fled since the Russians invaded last month. We are anonymous. We are legion.